See, you know what? Because I heard the click stop and I thought you stopped.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Lucas and you're watching Fine Tuning. You may have noticed I haven't been posting much lately and you might be wondering, what's up, Lucas? So let me give you the breakdown on what's happened, what's going on right now, and what's coming in the future. And since I'm squeezed for time always, I'm going to do this while I pack up gear for tonight's gig. In December of 2022, after 18 months of cleaning and remodeling and all kinds of mess, we finally moved into our new house. Actually, it's an old house. It was built in 1947. And not just any old house. It was actually the house that my great-grandparents built in 1947, and then it was, of course, left to my grandfather, and then my parents lived in it, so I actually grew up here. And then when my granddad passed in 2020, he left the house to me. It's wild because I actually lived in this house from the time I was about 3 years old until I was 17 and moved out and went to college. It was a tremendous undertaking to remodel this house and bring it up to modern standards because it's an old house and it hadn't been lived in 10 years or something like that, and it just had all kinds of problems and all kinds of walls had to be torn out and pipes needed to be fixed and electric stuff, and I mean it was just a mess. But I'm happy to say that it is mostly finished, minus some kind of aesthetic stuff, and we had been living in it for almost 5 months now. Kind of set that aside for the other part of the mono bag. In the process of moving thousands of pounds of furniture and possessions, I also kind of injured my back and my side, so I'm having to do like physical therapy and stuff right now, which totally sucks. And it is kind of just slowing down the works in general. So hopefully I'm going to get that sorted out pretty soon. It's pretty uncomfortable right now, and I don't really like walking around with the back brace on, but like, hey, it is what it is. It's what happens when you hit your 30s, man. So last year I started filling in occasionally for a cover band, a classic rock cover band called Carolina Shreds. After quite a few stand-in dates, they just asked me to join the band full-time, and I was having a really good time and it was good extra money, so I said, yeah, okay, yeah, let's do it. So I'm doing it now and it is keeping me very busy. Like right now we have 30-some dates booked this year, which for me as a full-time parent and I have a job and all this other stuff, like 30 dates in a year is a lot. So I'm tired all the time. I'm tired. In fact, the gear that I'm packing up right now is for a date tonight with him. And I better make sure that my wireless units are charged because I can play on a cable, but I kind of just have gotten used to the way these sound, these X5 ones. They kind of like take the cable out of the equation, if that makes sense, so it's just like the maximum full range sound from your guitar, and I've just gotten really used to it. It sparkles, so I like the way this sounds, but they do need to be charged so that you can use them. We'll just plug those up while we're waiting. Alright. I need my guitar strap. I'm probably gonna throw this camera way out of focus every time I do that. I'm actually really liking these Licato, I don't know how you say that, these big wide straps, because again, the back thing, and when you gotta do like 2 or 3 hour gigs, having this extra distribution of weight can really help. I've been playing lighter guitars for those too, like you probably saw I put a full hollow body PRS in there and it's only about like 5 and some change pounds and it's very light, so that's helpful. Let's see, we need some cableage. Bodacious cableage. So the room I'm in currently is kind of like my temporary office slash studio, kind of. Basically, this will be, in the future, my youngest daughter's room. Cora's room is across the hall. So since it's gonna become her room, I didn't want to damage the walls in any way. So that's why there's no acoustic treatment, there's no artwork, there's no guitar hangers. Everything has to be, you know, like not non-damaging. I don't know the word. It has to not make a mess or put any holes in the wall or anything, because this will be her room. Oh, and side note, this was actually my room when I was a kid, so there's video of me in here when I'm like 3 years old or something. And that guitar boat back there, I got that when I was in high school, when I was probably 15 or something, and it used to sit right there. So when I came in the room, I was like, well, I have to go put that back there, and it just feels like it's home. 1 long speaker cable, 2 long speaker cables because my amp's on my pedal board. I also usually take a short speaker cable, because I've got two 1x12 cabs that I've been using with the shreds, the blue guitar cabs. And sometimes I want them stacked on my side of the stage, and sometimes if the guys across the stage can't hear me very well, I like to run two long cables, and I'll run one cabinet on the other side of the stage so they can kind of use it as a monitor, because everybody wants to hear me all the time, right? Like that's the guitar player thing. Everybody wants to hear me. And let's just grab a couple of regular 1/4" cables so that I have a backup if the wireless doesn't work or somebody else needs a 1/4". I have been using this Planet Waves cable since, I don't know, 2014 or something. I got it while I was working at a music store. Like we were a dealer and we had this stuff in stock, so I got one, and I have been using it that long, and it still works. So this will be a temporary space for me. I've been in here since we moved in, kind of just as a place to put my computer and my, you know, a little bit of my guitar stuff, so I can have somewhere to rehearse and learn things. Behind you, actually, I'll show you. Okay, yeah, so there's my vintage gaming setup. So I have there's a PS3 set in there using component, and it's in a 4x3 aspect, and I've got the NES, the SNES, the N64, GameCube, PS1 and 2 down there, the stereo receiver to the big speakers, and this big honking CRT. Oh, and there's some 8mm film over there that's my dad's from when he was a kid, so I'm kind of using that machine up there to transfer it to digital. There's my cabs I haven't packed up yet. There's the pedal board, getting ready to pack it up. Here is my shelf of just random stuff. Some tools, microphones, cases, cables, tape, batteries, some handheld game systems. These, I'm like super into my handheld stuff, so that's one of those is going with me tonight for sure. Some random stuff up there. Here's my little guitar boat. This is kind of a rotating thing. It kind of has whatever I need at the moment in it. So right now it's got kind of mostly shred stuff in it. And that P90 one back there, that one's tuned to standard so that I can learn music off Spotify, because a lot of classic rock stuff's in standard tuning. But the shreds play a half step down, so all the rest of it's a half step. And that's Shasta, that's my baby. There's some of my collection of vintage games there. I have a bunch of stuff. The old cabinet with things in it from the old room. Yeah. History of the World decanter set here. Shh, don't tell anyone. There's my computer. I had to use a much smaller desk because this is a much smaller room. So the big desk is in storage. I'll get it out when we build the studio. It's just a real minimum setup, as small as I could make it. I got the King, Ed, and the Council of Frogs there. Picture of my lovely wife. And in the big closet here, it's a little bit messy, but there's a bunch of just monitors and guitar stuff and tools and cases and etc. All that stuff. So that's all in there. Anyway, that's what it looks like in the room. So we are only a handful of days away from closing on our previous house. And when that gets finished, then we're going to move on to phase 2 of renovations, which will be my full standalone studio building next door to the house. So this house actually has a full standalone, well, it's connected by a walkway and an awning, but a full standalone 500 square foot brick garage building attached to it that was built at the same time as the house. And it's got lofted ceilings, and it's just an awesome, super great shell of a place to build a studio. So that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to completely gut it and finish it in, complete with its own plumbing, bathroom, a vocal booth, an isolation closet for guitar cabinets, the whole deal. And it's going to be a full-fledged recording studio. Because this year, I'm excited to say, a little nervous, but excited to say that I'm going to stop doing tech work for the majority of people. I mean, some of you guys that are my buddies, I'll still help you with. But in general, I'm going to stop doing tech work, and I'm going to go and follow my original passion, which is making and recording music, both for myself and for other people. And right now I'm going to get the giant-ass case for this giant-ass pedal board. I went a little overkill on it, but I really like having all the options. But I hate carrying it downstairs, it sucks. Yeah, I should say this room is upstairs, and it is not just like a little upstairs. I mean, it's like a full flight of stairs narrow old 1947 stairs that I gotta carry this stuff up. It sucks. So I'm really looking forward to not having to do that anymore. This is still smaller than the rig I used to use regularly when InterTwyneD was gigging all the time. I mean, I had a full rack that I carted around with a Mesa head in it, a rack switching system, and a GCX and a TC G system or something, not a G system, G major, a bunch of whole huge rack that weighed like, I don't know, 120 pounds or something. It was huge. Plus cabinets, multiple cabinets. 212, multiple 212 cabinets. So this is still way smaller than that. Anyway, about the studio. As you can imagine, that will be quite an undertaking. But I'm confident that I can see it through, just like I did the house. I don't think it's going to take quite as long because it's just not quite as in-depth as the house was. But yeah, we'll be getting into that soon. If we were playing indoors, I'd probably just only take one cabinet, but it's an outdoor stage, and I just, I feel like I need the extra speaker on the outdoor stage, so I'm going to pack up both of them. I'm going to document the process of that studio renovation from beginning to finish, so you guys can see that on the channel later, because I think that's interesting. I actually did that for the house too, but that is less probably interesting to most people, because this is kind of like a music-y channel and there's not a whole lot of music. That's all just like, we remodeled the bathroom or we built a video game room or whatever. But the other one I will cut together a whole video and finish so you can see what it's like to take a garage and turn it into a studio. I put new speakers in these cabinets for two reasons. One, I like higher headroom speakers, like lots of watts. And also, I wanted to make them a little lighter because I have to carry them all over the place. I know you're thinking, well, you can't do that. You can't have a higher headroom speaker and have more watts and also be lighter. You can if you use neodymium magnets. So these now have Eminence EM12N speakers. So they're like their EV style 200 watt speakers, but they're the neodymium magnets, so they don't weigh very much. So these weigh the same, if not maybe a little bit less than they did with the stock speakers, but now each cabinet has 200 watt handling capacity, and this top end is really smooth, and I'm just really happy with these cabinets right now. They sound great, in particular in this context. So I am a little limited in what kind of video content I can produce in this small space currently, because I can't hang acoustic treatment. It probably is all echoey in here right now, even with me sitting close to the microphone on the camera like this, and it's hard to get it to sound good in here without doing some work. So I will continue to try to post some videos until the studio is finished, but it's probably going to be kind of sparse, and just as something pops up that I can do it. After we get the studio built, then I'll get back into it. My plan is to try to get back to doing one video a week, but we'll see how it goes. If I can do a little more than that, great. If it's a little less, I don't know, we'll just have to see how it goes. I actually bought a couple of new things for this gig because I keep having to use other people's mic stands, and like, I've been punched in the face by a mic stand a few times now. It's not that fun. I got myself a cup holder, a pick holder, that kind of thing. You know, conveniences. It's one more thing I have to carry, but I know that it'll work because I brought it. Another good excuse to bust out the tone knife. This one's probably considered a vintage now. I've had it since like 2008. Tone knives were better back then. They just made them better. Everything that I open with this knife sounds 10% better. I am also happy to say, that my original band, InterTwyneD, that I founded back in about 2008, we are back and working on new music. We just released a music video for our newest single, Seasons. So please go check that out. In fact, you can click a link right there and go watch that music video. It's pretty cool. It's a music video that the song is a tribute to my late granddad. He used a lot of poetry and stuff that he used to quote to us in the song, and the video is made up of clips that he shot with his camera of us, me and my brothers and my family when we were kids. And then we shot the performance shots with his camera as well. So I'm just really proud of that song and that video, so please go check it out, give it a listen, like it, leave a comment, all that stuff. InterTwyneD is also, we are going back into the studio again in July to record 2 new tunes, and I presume those will have, at least one of them, if not both of them, will have a music video as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. Some really cool new stuff, a little bit different than we've done in the past, a little more aggressive. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm also happy to say that I am working on another original project with some friends of mine. We used to be in a band called Whistler. You can see some of that stuff on the channel still if you want. But that ended up not working out the way that we wanted it to. And so now, a little later on, I've gotten kind of back in contact with some of those guys, and we are starting a new original thing. Not like Whistler, it's a little different. I don't want to spoil anything about it yet because it's really in early stages of development. But the band's name is Rebel Frog Riot because I love me some frogs. Well, that about covers what's been going on and where I'm at right now. So kind of my question to you is, what would you guys like to see from me? You know, in the future, in the near future, in the distant future, what would you like to see? I've done some guitar instructional content in the past. In fact, I used to work for a website called Infinite Guitar, and I did lessons and stuff there. But I've done some stuff like that on the channel. Would you guys like to see some more lesson content? More gear demos or explanations or reviews or whatever? What kind of stuff would you like to see? Let me know in the comments below. And this is so I can hold a drink and also, I guess, probably put some pics and stuff on there, which is handy. My buddy Anthony, that's the bass player, has one of these, and I was like, man, that's a good idea. I should get one of those. Let me know what you guys would like to see. There's still some stuff I can do in here, especially if you guys don't mind the audio quality not being maybe as great as I would like it to be. But, you know, okay. So let me know what you'd like to see. Leave a comment below. Thank you guys for watching. Please like the video, subscribe, leave comments, you know, and ring the bell for the notifications. Ring the bell for notifications. And until next time, I will catch you later.